And we're back on the SportsMax Zone. Coming down to the end of the regular season in the Jamaica Premier League, 6 teams are still in contention for the remaining 4 playoff spots. After round 10, Waterhouse and Tivoli have already guaranteed their places and are looking to secure the 2 automatic semi-final spots. Michaela Brown has the highlights from Saturday's doubleheader.
The penultimate round of the Jamaica Premier League came to a pulsating end with a doubleheader on Saturday. Done beholding knowing that a win would secure their playoff spot with 1 game week to go, had it all to play for versus an Arnott team who was already eliminated from playoff contention. It was Done beholden who started off brighter in the first half, but couldn't make the opportunities count. Arnott grew into the match and drew some fine saves from the goalkeeper William Benjamin in the Done beholden goal as both teams went into the break all square. The deadlock was broken in the 51st minute after Dwayne Smith was alert and kept his composure after getting a bit of luck before sweeping home the opener. Arnott found the equalizer 20 minutes later following a good cross and determined finish to make Done beholden's path to the playoffs much more difficult.
We got to go on the training pitch and tell ourselves that we must win this game in order to be sure of being in the top 6, because a win today would have ensured us a top 6 position, whether first, second or third. So the other game Mount Pleasant coming up, it's a must win.
The day's second match produced a 7-goal thriller between playoff aspiring Tivoli Gardens and bottom of the table Humble Lion. Going into the contest with an unchanged side from last week's victory, Tivoli got off to a fast start and opened the scoring in just 5 minutes courtesy of a Horatio Morgan overhead kick. The 22-year-old Morgan, who was scoring for the first time this season, followed up with a thumping header in the 30th minute. 10 minutes later, he completed his hat-trick with a beautifully curled shot that put Tivoli 3-0 up and seemingly out of sight. However, just before the halftime break, Lorenzo Lewin pulled one back after finding himself unmarked from a corner kick. It was Lewin again who was looking lively in the second half, and on the 63rd minute teed up Andre Clennon for an easy tap home to cut the deficit to 1. Deveroy Gray restored Tivoli's 2-goal cushion after benefiting from a poor pass by Humble Lion's goalkeeper Kenil Petrie. In time added on, Lewin popped up and slotted home his second goal to make it 4-3, but it was too little too late as Tivoli took all 3 points to secure their playoff berth. Waterhouse and Tivoli on 16 points have qualified for the playoffs, with a game to spare, which leaves 6 teams fighting for the remaining 4 spots. A nail-biting finish to the regular season is on the cards. It's all up for grabs in the Jamaica Premier League.
Dewight Jeremiah joins us now to recap round 10 action. Welcome.
Thanks for having me, Mariah.
Definitely, of course. I think it's fitting that we start by talking about Horatio Morgan's hat-trick and of the manner in which he was able to help his team Tivoli from 7th to 2nd position.
It was a very good performance from him. The hat-trick it consisted of a lot of good goals, and the last one was, for me, the pick of the bunch. And when I interviewed him, he also agreed that goal was the goal that he loved the most. And I think more so also because he practiced a lot of it, he said, on the training ground. But it was an inspired performance from him. And at one moment, I felt he would have been a bit disappointed knowing that his team was looking like they wouldn't take all 3 points. But yeah, it didn't have a lot of power on the first shot, but the placement was what really made it difficult for the goalkeeper. And then he ghosted in here behind the defender and glanced off his head onto his shoulder. And that was always going to be difficult from such close range for the goalkeeper. But that one was the pick of the bunch. I mean, he used the defender as a shield and just bent it around him. And at any level, that goal is of great quality. So, and I felt it was deserving that he was on a winning team after having that first hat-trick of the season. And it's a player that, if you had a list of who would have scored a hat-trick in the season, his name probably wouldn't even be on it. but such was his performance.
Definitely. And of course, when we preview the matches on Friday, Tivoli, they were in 7th position. I blinked, I slept, I woke up, and now they're in 2nd position. Talk to me about the 6 teams that are going to make the playoffs based on what you've seen.
These teams are looking to make a mockery of what I'm trying to suggest here last week when I suggested that which were there in the top 6 would stay. But I think it's because of the closeness of the team in terms of the quality that the shuffling around took place. But I think when I look at it, Waterhouse plays Portmore, and despite qualifying, I think Waterhouse will still want to keep that momentum going. Portmore, they currently have the worst form in the competition, 3 losses in a row and 1 win in 5 games. It's hard to see them beating Waterhouse. Tivoli against Malines, I think despite qualifying Malines out, Tivoli will be in. Cavalier against Veer, I could see that one ending in a draw. I could just see Coach Dookie on the training ground going over and over the shape and staying compact, deciding when to press, picking the moments in the game when to go out and express themselves. So I think it's going to be difficult. The last time Cavaliers came up against a team that sat deep was against Dumblehold, and they found it difficult to break them down after a 5th-minute goal from Andre Dice. So I could see it difficult for them to do that, but the draw will see them through. Mount Pleasant against Dumblehold, and I think that too, Mount Pleasant looking like they've qualified. They know a point will take them through.
Right.
So I see that one also ended in a draw. So I see Mount Pleasant in it. Harbourview, I think, look out, but I think against Arnett, whose chances went in this round, could get in.
Right.
Although it's difficult because no team has come from one team has come from a rest and won their game. No other team have done that, but I think Harbourview could make it the 2nd team to have sit out a round and come back and win. So I could see Harbourview sneaking in, but close. If Dumblehold gets in, not surprised.
Right, Dwight. Well, we'll connect with you again, of course, when the top 6 have been decided, because I'm looking forward to see if these teams go against what you said.
Okay then, looking forward to it.
Thanks again. Of course, Dewight Jeremiah, they are our football commentator. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.